What's up, goodies? Welcome back to your girl channel and to my kitchen, How to Cook. And today, honey, I have the pleasure of doing a collaboration with my girl Cravings. Yes, honey, she have some fabulous recipe over there, so make sure saying I'm gonna go over there, go check her out. Now I'm making loaded jerk chicken breast and cabbage in the kitchen, fast, easy and simple. So make sure you subscribe, goodie, and turn on your post notification, right? And remember, don't forget to check out Cravings and make a note say on a girl out to cook, sending it over there. Now goodie, on ready for cook? You ready for cook? Well, on a know for the right? Let's cook. Okay, my fabulous lovebug goodies, let's cook. Now, I have my chicken breast right here that has been washed with salt, lemon juice, and vinegar. You want to soak it up for about 10 minutes or so. Now, after you get done doing that, you pat dry it, get some of that water out. Then you cover it with a plastic wrap, and then you tap into the chicken here. Not too hard. You don't want it to flatten out to nothing. When you're done doing that, you want to turn it on the other side, and you are going to cover it back with the plastic wrap and repeat the same step. All right, again, do not tap into the chicken too hard because you will separate the chicken and you're going to have it break and turn into chicken mince. We don't want that, okay? So be gentle with it. Now after you get done doing that step, what you want to do is remove that plastic. Then you want to season it to flavor. So I hear I'm adding a little bit of black pepper, some salt for flavor, not a whole lot. Then I'm going to add some all-purpose seasoning here. I'm using the Grace all-purpose seasoning. And then I'm going to add some jerk seasoning powder. If you have the fresh jerk seasoning, go ahead and add that. Or you could make yours from scratch, right? Now for coloring, I'm going to add some paprika for color. Just rub it on. Make sure your hands are nice and clean. Right, that's all. And then you want to go ahead and turn it on the other side. And you are going to repeat step number 1, all right? Just go ahead and add all your seasonings of choice. Now, goodie, you can always switch up your seasonings of choice here, but do not leave out the jerk seasoning because that is where the recipe comes from. Jerk seasoning, okay, you're going to need that. Whether it's powder, whether it's homemade jerk seasoning sauce, or whether it's the one that you buy in the bottle. But you want to make sure you had that. After you get done that, you put it aside. Now we're moving on to the next step of the recipe. What you're going to do here is this. You're going to get your cabbage, all right? And you want to peel off either the first or the second layer of your cabbage peel because those are the hardest part of the cabbage. We definitely don't want to use that for the recipe. So go ahead and remove that. Now, for this recipe, I'm serving for 4. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to cut off the heart of the cabbage, all right? Put that aside. And then, if you need to rinse off, right? Now, mine was perfectly fine here. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go ahead and slice my cabbage. Now, you want to make sure that you slice it not as thick as possible. I think I have maybe a medium to large size cabbage here, but of course I could use a bigger one, right? The more cabbage, the better. But this one is going to work perfectly fine. So I go ahead and I cut my cabbage into 4 slices. Like I said, I'm cooking for 4, all right? And then here's what I'm going to do. You're going to put that aside, and this is what you're going to do here. In your baking tray, you're going to go in, and you're going to add some oil. I'm using extra virgin olive oil here. Now, all you have to do is get your cabbage and place it in your baking tray, just like I'm doing here, okay? Now it's time for us to season our cabbage. So to season the cabbage, I had just a tap bit of salt, a little bit of black pepper, and then I added some paprika just for color. You want to do it mellow, but be sure that you had some of that oil. And again, I'm using extra virgin olive oil. You can substitute that oil out for whatever that it is that you want. Be sure though to turn the cabbage on the opposite side because you want it to have flavor on both sides, all right? I did remove another couple of pieces of the cabbage peel because that was too tough. But just be sure that you season the cabbage on both sides, all right? Alrighty, so that's pretty good, all right? Paprika, color it up nice, and just rub it in. Just rub it in. Nice clean hands, nice clean fingers, just rub it in. And then that is good to go. Good to go. Okay, so moving right along, here is what we are going to do here. Now we are going to go in and we are going to cut up, slice up our tomatoes. Okay, so now I have about 4 tomatoes here. We're going to go ahead and slice them into 3. All right, remember I'm only cooking for 4, so I'm going to be using 3 slices on each of the servings. Okay, so now I'm going ahead and I'm going to slice it up. Now, when you slice up your tomatoes, all right, you want to be sure that the end part of the tomato, you are definitely going to separate that. You don't want to use that into the recipe. So just go ahead and you just remove those end pieces out and just only use the flat part of the tomato that you slice up nice and thin for the recipe, and just separate those to the side. You can use it for another recipe. Put it in the fridge and freeze it up or whatever and use it for another recipe. Now moving right along, here's our cabbage and we're ready to platter this thing up. Now you want to go in and add your chicken breast on top of your cabbage. All right, just like I'm doing here. After you have done laid your chicken breast on the cabbage, this is what you want to do, and this is critical. Now, I went in and added some cottage cheese to the chicken, right? Now, if you don't want to use this, you could use sour cream. If you don't want to use sour cream, use some yogurt, right? Plain one only though if you're going to go yogurt, but trust me, goodie. Cottage cheese, pan this recipe, turn up mad loud. So this is the route that you want to take. But if you don't like that, you can skip that and use what you like. Now, I did go in and had the sliced tomatoes on top of the cottage cheese. All right. Just like that. And you want to be sure that you press it into the cottage cheese. Then you want to be sure to add some extra virgin olive oil on top of your tomatoes. And when you're done with this step, that's what you'll have. Now, be sure that you put this into a preheated oven. You don't want to put it into a cold oven. Your oven should be on at 375 degrees. And you're going to put it in the oven and it's going to bake for exactly 40 minutes. 40 minutes only, okay? Now, after 40 minutes of baking at 375 degrees, this is what you will have. Perfect. Now, you want to go in when it's nice and hot like that and put your cheese on top. And to be exact, I'm using extra sharp white cheddar cheese. But of course, you could use whatever kind of cheese that you like, right? You don't have to go this route, okay? So I'm going in and I'm going in generous. The more cheese is the better for the recipe. It's going to be flawless and it's going to be so good, all right? So let's go ahead and be generous with your cheese of choice. Now, going to be sure that you are subscribed to the channel. If you have come this far, make sure you turn on your bell so you won't miss any of these goodness, all right? Now, I did go in and I used some bacon on here. Those are bacon bits, so you just go ahead and just sprinkle some bacon bits on it, and you could find these bacon bits in your supermarket, okay? Or you could fry up your bacon and just lay it on there. That's it. Just be generous with that as well. And then lastly, you're going to go in and get some fresh parsley. If you don't have fresh parsley, good, that's okay. You could use dried one if you want. You could use oregano. You could use any kind of a greeny vegetables that you like. But don't use callaloo and don't use spinach, okay? In that order. Now you want to go back and you want to put this back in your oven. And you are going to allow it to bake again for another 10 to 15 minutes. At the same 375 uncovered. Now this recipe you do not cover at all, okay? It's uncovered only. Now when you are done cooking up this goodness, this is what you will have, honey. You're going to have a beautifully delicious loaded jerk chicken breast and cabbage filled in all its glory, okay? The thing smells amazing. Honey, you could smell this thing cooking all the way from outside. That is how much flavor the thing kicks off. This is one of those recipes that will impress everybody. It's good for events, it's good for Thanksgiving, it's good for Christmas, dinners and all of them something there. Yes, goody. The thing is massive. Massive. Just be sure so you not share these recipes, with all of the friends, right? Yes. Perfect. Perfection at its finest. The cheese has melted right down into where it needs to melt. Perfect. Now, when I know somebody have to put it on a plate so I want to see how this thing turn up loud from the inside, right? It's not just an outside thing. It's the inside as well. Now, look at that, y'all. Perfect. Oh my goodness, the thing smells so good. So good. Now, when you cut into that nice, deliciously baked chicken breast, oh my goodness, the thing is so divine. Y'all, trust me, when I have to try this recipe, you have to try it. And when you try the recipe, just make sure send me a picture on Instagram because I have to see this. Look at the inside of that thing. That thing is divine. 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 You're gonna love it. Mark my word, you're gonna love it. Look at that, y'all. Look at that. Just take a real good close-up at this thing here. You see how those bacon bits just stick on into the cheese and into that tomato? It's not going anywhere. The thing is divine, divine, divine. Oh, and this is your bite. Go ahead. I had to share that. Just go ahead. That is for you, all right? Your bite, honey. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. That is it, my loves. That is it. That is all done. Now be sure you go over there and check out Carrie Ann's Cravings. And make sure when you make her know sending her over there, all right? Now share this good love with all your friends and family, right? Thumbs up the video for sure. Subscribe to the video for sure. To the channel before, right? Yes, boo. And remember, when I get done doing that, tell me what you want to see me cook next in my kitchen. And remember, as always, from my to your kitchen. Enjoy!